Hello friends, Techman Pat. Today we're going to look at the NBN pricing model. It's a bit of an old document that I found and I wanted to share with you and discuss it because it's probably good to understand how the NBN Co pricing for their wholesale side of things is actually like. So NBN Co released a wholesale pricing guide in around December 2010 and updated it back into December 2011. The pricing has multiple components, including the wholesale price to connect an individual subscriber. This connection price starts at $24 per month. However, there are additional pricing components. Now, this little report outlines the NBN Co's pricing model, showing how these additional components affect the total wholesale price for NBN services. Now, NBN Co sells wholesale services only. These are purchased by an access seeker who then offered retail services to individual subscribers, that's the RSPs. A key NBN feature is uniform wholesale pricing for all access seekers, and this is to foster a competitive retail broadband market. Now, in particular, NBN Co provides no discounts for volume, and all access seekers have to pay the same rate for wholesale NBN services. So that is for the RSPs to have an even playing field to get customers. Now, within all that, the pricing for standard broadband services components are only included, but pricing for committed information rate services, i.e. bandwidth guarantees, and multicast, or basically what you might know them as pay TV, are not considered in this. Each subscriber needs an access virtual circuit, AVC, which identifies their traffic with the NBN, and then the access seeker generally purchases a one-off AVC per subscriber. This AVC is the first component of the wholesale cost. The NBN comprises multiple connectivity serving areas, each with a point of interconnect, or a POI, to which access seekers connect their respective backhaul infrastructure. Now, access seekers purchase a connectivity virtual circuit, which is the CVC, for each connectivity serving area they wish to cover. The CVC is essentially a bandwidth pipe, the size determined by the cost. The larger the CVC, the better the service to subscribers within the connectivity serving area. Think of these as suburbs or areas that a company services. The connectivity virtual circuit is the second component of the NBN Co wholesale cost. The NBN is essentially an access network terminating in a subscriber premises. Now, access seekers connect to the NBN at a specified POI, as we mentioned before. There is a per month charge for every POI connection. That is the third NBN Co wholesale cost component. Finally, there is a one-off charge for each POI connection. That is the fourth NBN Co cost component. So let's have a look at the pricing for that. The 12, the 25, and another 25 with the 10 up stream, as you can see here, is a little bit more, and then go up in fairly small increments until you get to the 140 up. 38 to 70, and then 100, 150. Now, these prices have changed now. They're a little bit different, but what you're seeing from here is that there is a whole lot of available types of plans, and not all RSPs are actually going to sell you these plans. So it's $20 per megabit per month for a given connectivity service area. The first 150 megabits per month is free until 30,000 premises have been passed. Also, each access virtual circuit comes with 50 kilobits of free CVC capacity. Now, let's look at the cost for POI connections per month. This cost is based on the speed, either a 1 gigabit or a 10 gigabit, and the distance of the connected link, 10Ks or 40Ks. The costs are, as you can see, a 1 gigabit, 200, 10, 500, 400, and so on. These prices are a bit interesting because that's the minimum they have to pay for a certain link, and let's say there's more people on that connection node, they'll have to bump it up to the 10 gigabit, maybe if it's 40 kilometer, and pay $1,000. So for an RSP to upgrade that POI, they have to have enough customers to justify that cost. Now, as well as the POI costs, the access seeker also pays for backhaul capacity from the POI to their own point of presence or network. This backhaul is not sourced from the NBN code. Now, the POI connection one-off setup fee is as follows, and this is just to connect the system up. Now, it ranges from $1,000 to $35,000. Now, you can see that there's a huge investment to connect all these homes just from the RSP's point of view. Now, The rationale behind all this, and basically the key idea, is that NBN co-pricing is to separate the subscriber connection costs, the access to the VC, from the bandwidth cost, which is the connectivity VC. This allows access seekers to differentiate their respective retail broadband products based on the size and amount paid for the connectivity VC, which is CVC. In particular, the CVC size determines the connection ratio, a standard measure for broadband service quality. The idea behind contention ratio is simple. Suppose 100 subscribers each have 1 megabits per second broadband service. With the combined traffic from all the sources feeding into a 1 megabit transmission link, a 100-to-1 contention ratio then results. If the transmission link was 2 megabits per second, the connection ratio would be 50-to-1, and so on. A common feature of low-cost broadband services in high contention ratios leads to poor performance, basically slow speeds during peak hours, because all of a sudden, everyone on your street is using all their bandwidth, and the pipe leading into your street or your suburb just doesn't have enough CVC. So, hence the pricing for the CVC and the difference within the access VC. This allows access seekers to determine their respective connection ratios and change the quality of their connection for their broadband customers versus something like budget and premium. So sometimes when you see that $5 difference, it could be the difference between a good connection during peak hours and a crappy connection during those hours. But how does the CVC affect NBN Co's wholesale prices? Well, on December 2011's NBN Co product and pricing overview, it shows that the cost for 2,100 subscribers on a 12/1, a broadband service, the lowest one, with voice, and assuming a 100-to-1 contention ratio, the per subscriber CVC cost is $1.90, which is relatively small compared to the 24-month AVC wholesale price. Another example considers a business-grade service where around half the traffic has a contention ratio of 20-to-1 and the other half a contention ratio of 4-to-1 for a 50 down, 20 up megabits per second service. Here, the monthly CVC cost is around $109 per subscriber, about 3 times the monthly 34 wholesale NBN Co price for the 50 down 20 up megabit service AVC cost. Now, the NBN Co GPON infrastructure provides a nominal 2.5 gigabits for every 32 subscribers, or around 80 megabits per subscriber at full load. And that's saying that all 32 subscribers are active at once. However, the NBN Co examples show that the CVC pricing will result in retail broadband services using only a fraction of this capacity. Access seekers will have significant additional costs to the NBN Co ones, in particular backhaul from NBN Co POI to the access seeker point of presence. The 2014 Telstra wholesale rate card for domestic transmission capacity services indicates prices of around $48 per month for 5 kilometers, $171 per month for 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers, assuming that there is a 100 megabits connection purchased there. Hence, for access seekers without their own backhaul infrastructure, backhaul costs will exceed CVC costs, given the latter price of $20 megabits per second per month. In addition to backhaul costs, access seekers fund their own infrastructure, servers and routers, bulk internet connectivity, marketing, staff, premises, and so on. In short, the NBN Co wholesale price reflects neither the total per subscriber cost for access seekers nor the eventual retail price for NBN-based broadband products. The NBN Co pricing model separates capacity costs from access costs. This allows retail service providers to differentiate their products based on the amount of NBN Co capacity purchased. The capacity cost is a relatively small component of entry-level wholesale broadband prices. However, this becomes significant for higher speed services, particularly for enterprise clients, as well as the NBN Co wholesale cost. Access seekers face significant additional costs, in particular for the backhaul for the connection to even exist. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has helped. I found this document. I wanted to read parts of it out to you. I'll put the links below where you can find a bit more information. It's a bit scattered. Luckily, this document here that I found had actually some information about it. Most of this information is fairly available on the internet, but putting it all together makes more sense. At the end of the day, the cost that you're paying to your RSP is significantly different than what they have to pay to bring you this service. So just because they have a lower price doesn't mean, first of all, you'll get a better service, or that the lowered pricing means that they've got some sort of better deal from NBN Co, because NBN Co is not supposed to provide any special deals for other RSPs. And that is why it's interesting when they take enterprise into their own hands. And as we spoke about it a few weeks back, it's concerning. Friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked this video. Tap that like button if you did. And if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And friends, I'll catch you guys in another video. Enjoy your day. Thanks. Bye.